Hello, this is Dave Sugarbaker. Today is the first day of March 2026, and I'm in a new venue. I'm at the First Presbyterian Church of Maysville, Kentucky, and I'm the interim pastor there now as of today. And here's what I did this morning. This is a reading from Exodus 3, 1 to 15. Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led his flock beyond the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of a bush. He looked, and the bush was blazing, yet it was not consumed. Then Moses said, I must turn aside and look at this great sight and see why the bush is not burned up. When the Lord saw that he had turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Come no closer, remove the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. He said further, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord said, I have observed the misery of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard their cry on account of their taskmasters. Indeed, I know their suffering, and I have come down to deliver them from the Egyptians, and to bring them out of that land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, in the country of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The cry of the Israelites has come to me, and I have also seen how the Egyptians oppress them. So come, I will send you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Then Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? He said, I will go with you, and this shall be the sign for you that it is I who sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall worship God on this mountain. But Moses said to God, If I come to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your ancestors has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? What shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said further, Thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Thus shall you say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my title for all generations. When my grandfather, Avert, and his young wife, Marie, started their family in Paterson, New Jersey, around the turn of the 20th century, Avert made sure that his children started life with American names. He translated their Dutch surname, Zijkerbakker, into Sugarbaker on their birth certificates. The 124th annual Confectioner's Ball was held in Vienna on the 15th day of January this year. It is one of Vienna's season of over 400 winter balls. It's organized by the Viennese Confectioners Guild. It's a charitable event, and area confectioners prepare over 3,000 spectacular pastries that are raffled off during the evening. The proceeds of the ball go to an organization that serves poor children in the area. The ball takes place in the Hofburg Imperial Palace. It opens with a performance by dancers from the Viennese State Opera Ballet. The ball begins at 9 p.m. on the 15th of January, and it closes at 5 a.m. the next day. Locals know it as the Zuckerbacher Ball. The German name is the equivalent to my Dutch surname Zeikerbacher. Sugarbaker is a trade name like Baker or Cooper or Smith. It dates back to the late 1500s when sugar began to be available in Europe. A sugar baker was either a confectioner or a refiner of sugar. I'm an avid consumer of what confectioners produce. I've been known to make muffins myself, things like bran muffins or pumpkin muffins, corn or blueberry crumb muffins, but that's as close as I get to being a confectioner. But now you know the etymology of the name Sugar Baker. Moses was a member of the slave underclass in Egypt. He was a criminal foreigner. He'd killed an Egyptian who was beating another Hebrew slave. And so Moses had self-deported. He was living in Midian. He had a wife and perhaps a family. He had employment with his father-in-law's business, herding sheep and goats. As he's out tending his father-in-law's herds, Moses sees something unusual. A bush is burning that has not been consumed. Now, how can that be? As it turns out, the burning bush is to capture Moses' attention. And God has a job for him. Go back to Egypt. Go to the seat of power, to Pharaoh, and tell Pharaoh to release the Hebrews from bondage, from slavery. And then rally the Hebrews and get them ready to separate themselves from Egypt. So Moses asks the crucial question, when I talk to the Hebrews to convince them to take off from the comfortable bonds of Egypt, to spend a generation wandering in the desert, how should I refer to you? What is your name? Of the multiplicity of gods in the Middle East at that time, Moses wanted to know, which one are you? In Jewish culture of Old Testament times, knowing someone's name revealed the core of that person. A name wasn't just a label, it was a window into that person's destiny, identity, and character. So Jacob meant heel grabber or supplanter. Abigail meant my father is joy. Itzhak or Isaac meant he left. Joshua meant Yahweh saves. And changing one's name signaled a new identity or a new mission for that person. Abram becomes Abraham. Sarai becomes Sarah. Jacob becomes Israel. To know someone's name was to have a kind of a relational access to that person. The equivalent today might be to give somebody your phone number. Call me if you need me. So Moses' conversation with God, Moses says, if I come to the Israelites and I say to them, the God of your ancestors has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And God doesn't hesitate. He says, I am who I am. Thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. When Moses asks God's name, God's essence, God responds with the most basic verb in any and all human language, the present tense, first person singular form of the verb to be. It indicates a present, continuous state of being. If we were ancient Hebrews, we would know immediately that God's most basic quality is that God is. If we start working with the implications of the verb, we would find that God is, was, and will be. Understanding the importance of names in ancient Jewish culture unlocks the real meaning of the third of the Ten Commandments. You don't take the Lord's name in vain. Well, it's easy to come up with a surfacey explanation for this particular commandment and say, well, you're not supposed to say, oh my God. Well, in the Old Testament Jewish culture, a person's name was their revealed identity. It was their character. It was their reputation. And the Jewish word, the Hebrew word for take, is nessa. And it means to carry, to bear, to lift up, or to take upon one's self. So, don't carry or lift up or take upon yourself the name of the Lord falsely. Here's what the commandment really means. Don't swear oaths in God's name to cover deceit. Don't claim divine authority for personal agendas. Don't act unjustly while claiming to belong to God. Don't use God's name to manipulate or intimidate or to exploit. Don't worship God with lips while hearts and lives contradict what is God's essence. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, one's name was a big deal. Not so much anymore. You now have a minister with a big funny last name, and I've been called just about everything that you could think of, and I'm okay with it all. So I appreciate your taking the time to learn some of the etymology of the name Sugarbaker. I look forward to being with you for the next period of time. Don't know, it's going to be an interim, but may God be with us all. So God bless you as you take the time to read this or listen to this. I appreciate it very much. And take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.